And one more thing I just wanted to highlight here on this next article, and this is again another one of the building pieces we've been talking about with instability in fertilizer pricing is natural gas availability, right? Natural gas has been a tight crunch as a global sector, and one of the things that originally we had budgeted for was a 1% colder winter in the United States. That was what we had in reserves. Of course, we sold a little bit of that to Europe in the quest to mitigate any potentials for famine so they could get yields up because they were so low on nitrogen. And now what we have here is a polar vortex. And the polar vortex right now is being held off pretty significantly and limited to the western half of the United States, northwestern half of the United States, and to Canada. However, they are forecasting that the shelf that is containing the polar vortex is not going to hold it off forever. And when it does, and the polar vortex makes its way to the southeastern United States, be ready because we're going to be in for a long term cold. And when it says long term, we're not talking about like 6 months of cold or something like that, but it could be, upwards of a month, 4 weeks that we're dealing with cold, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, somewhere in there. And if that is the case, and remember, we're only budgeting a 1% colder, we start having major freeze events in areas that are not prepared for freezing events, like we saw in Texas this last year, then that could put tighter supply on an already tight natural gas market, which could increase the cost of inputs. And like we were talking about with break even prices with corn, those cost per bushel are going to go up significantly again and further pressuring the food supply, inflation, everything that we're dealing with right now. So, again, I'm not sounding the alarm right now. I'm 100% not, but I bring all this up to say is that the puzzle pieces are here again. We saw them previously when they were formed, and unfortunately, the dominoes did fall. Here, they're laid out again, and the potential for it to happen. Let's see what happens, and who knows? Who knows how it all plays out? But it's to add insult to to injury. Unfortunately, we're in the same level of a predicament that we were previously in that ultimately went the wrong way. Maybe, maybe just maybe this one will go the right way. I gotta ask, guys, are y'all sounding the alarm? Are you in a good healthy headspace over this? Are you freaking out? I'm okay right now. I'm okay.
Hey, if
No,
you're
I'm
okay,
already
then
no, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out because it seems to me that the first place to get hit by something as fundamental as a food shortage is Hawaii. Yeah, we're first, Matt.
It's true. You're
We're
import
first.
dependent.
And of course, somebody, I think it was Aldo, dear Aldo, he said, so that means that in Hawaii, it's not a matter of not getting what you pay for. I told him, Aldo, it can be to the point where you could have $1 million in your hands and that $1 million does you no damn good because
Instead of a
money.
standing rib roast of a cow, you may be eating a standing rib roast of a mark.
Hmm. Exactly.
Howie.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know,
It
yeah, it's I get it for Ray. It's uh, the winter thing, the weather thing here of where does that put us and where does that end up? I look at that quite frequently just to know, for my own personal knowledge. And I'm not a weather forecaster, not a meteorologist, but I don't know that it's going to be particularly hard, at least through January. It's going to be cold, but not, record setting, nothing like what we had last February. So
mm,
wait and see. Wait and see. It's been, here in the eastern half of the United States where there's, the lion's share of the demand um, for natural gas and for some of these other raw inputs that go into the fertilizer production. It's been a very, very mild winter so far. Now it looks like it's going to turn here next week and get more seasonable, but that gives me hope that we got this far without really having to turn up the dial really at all. So let's just see what happens. I'll be the optimist this time.
Thank you for watching this clip. Be sure to tune in to the Burn and Return podcast on any of your favorite podcast apps every Wednesday, where we discuss the industry's hottest news.